One battle after another, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, has bombed at the box office. They had a budget of $130 million, and they grossed $125 million worldwide. I'll give you a summary, but this is being described by many as basically a leftist power fantasy. Here's the description. Bob, this is Leonardo DiCaprio's character, is a washed-up revolutionary who lives in a state of stoned paranoia, surviving off-grid with his spirited and self-reliant daughter Willa. When his evil nemesis resurfaces and Willa goes missing, the former radical scrambles to find her as both father and daughter battle the consequences of their pasts. So, I admittedly have not watched this movie, so I can't give you my personal take on it, but I would like to show a TikTok made by a guy who just walked out of the theater calling it woke propaganda and his reasons for why he thinks that is.
So currently at the movie theater, and came to see this because it was rated like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, this guy deserves to like be had if you think
if
that,
you think
like,
the critic score is supposed to mean that's good.
Like if you're using Rotten Tomatoes as some type of barometer, you're either lying just to make a point with your video, or you deserve to be had.
And stuff. I don't know who's rating these movies, but we just walked out of it. It starts off with basically an Antifa war cry, and is inciting
What is that,
people,
like yelling soy at the top of your lungs?
to go blow things up and take people out of immigrants out of the concentration camps or whatever they're calling them, and then essentially has this conservative group get together, and they're a secret racist society trying to
I love the music. Was this the score from the movie? If so, it goes kind of hard.
cleanse the races in America. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, but that is crazy and garbage.
Like,
so the first
music,
scenes
the music
include
added so much more layers to that. It's just the guy walking out of the theater.
The first scenes include breaking immigrants out of detention facilities, inciting people to blow up detention facilities and free the immigrants, and a conservative group forms. They're called a secret racist society by this guy, trying to cleanse the races in America. And on Rotten Tomatoes, you can currently see it's got a 95% rating from critics and an 85% rating from the audience. And I saw a comment from Bret Easton Ellis about this movie's reception that was getting a lot of attention over the weekend, because you rarely see anyone speak so candidly about how out of touch Hollywood is. Here's what he said on his podcast.
He talks to Colonel Kurtz a decent amount, right? I think
Really?
he's interviewed her, or she's interviewed him more than once.
Cool. Here's what he said. It's kind of shocking to see these accolades for, I'm sorry, it's not a very good movie, because of its political ideology. And it's so obvious that that's what they're responding to. Why it's considered a masterpiece, the greatest film of the decade, the greatest film ever made, is because it really aligns with this leftist sensibility. It will soon be a kind of musty relic of the post-Kamala Harris era, that thing everyone gathers around and pretends is so fantastic and so great when it really isn't, just to make a point. There is a liberal mustiness to this movie that already feels very dated by October 2025. Very dated, and it just doesn't read the room. It reads a tiny corner of the room, but it does not read what is going on in America. And I don't think that Hollywood is going to live down that term that he offered there. Liberal mustiness. Because it describes it perfectly when we're talking about projects that are holdovers from the anti-woke vibe shift.
The ones that people describe as we thought Kamala was going to win.
The we thought Kamala would win movies are still coming out. They're still slated for 2025 and 2026.
Paul Thomas Anderson is a very, very famous director. It's the point I was making the other week, which is like, I guess mine was more about the financially successful directors, which is like the ones who are successful back in the 90s, they kind of get carte blanche to make the stuff that they want because their name is attached to it. But it's not like Paul Thomas Anderson has really had any hits in the last couple of years that anybody can even remember, at least not in the last decade or so. I just laugh for these types of movies. So I do want to make a point. I actually do believe, I don't distrust Rotten Tomatoes critic scores inherently. I distrust them more when it's a politically motivated or like biased movie. Like if they're reviewing a Dave Chappelle special, I don't trust them. If they're reviewing a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, I don't trust it. If they're reviewing Eddington, I don't trust it. But if it's just your average summer blockbuster, I don't even think anything of it, as an aggregator system, right? But when it comes to movies that have political bends to it, you should not be looking to Rotten Tomatoes critic scores for an honest answer.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the critic scores. They're obviously vast majority positive. One of them, though, says this is an infuriating, hypersexualized, politically polarized film in which almost every character is contemptible.
That's the worst part too, is like,
Yeah.
I feel like the best part to movie making and television is characters should be generally likable. I feel like they took all the wrong lessons from the anti-heroes that have succeeded. Like everybody jokes about how much I mentioned the show House, but on its face, the show shouldn't work because the character is so effing unlikable to everybody. But in general, I want movie characters and television characters to be likable. Like you want to see them succeed.
One of the audience reviews said, I went into this movie with an open mind as I consider myself an independent. Star-studded cast, action-packed, so I was in. Sorry to say it wasn't good as I wanted more character development, and it had no chance of being realistic. I found it to overemphasize an extreme left viewpoint, so I'm sure it will appeal to that audience and do well with awards. And that's kind of what it is for. It's for award season. It's
Yes.
Oscar bait.
Paul Thomas Anderson's last 4 movies. Licorice Pizza in 2021 made $33 million. Phantom Thread in 2017 made $52 million. Inherent Vice in 2014 made $14.8 million. And The Master in 2012 made $28.7 million.
Another one said the commentary about ICE and current political problems was a backdrop for the movie, but in my opinion, that didn't excuse nor justify the extremist actions of the revolutionaries. So I'm guessing the angle they took this is the leftist revolutionaries are taking by any means necessary action against a right-wing government. And
Yeah.
I think that's why Leonardo DiCaprio chooses his projects now, like Killers of the Flower Moon being another example, the Scorsese movie that came out. I think that was last year.
2
that was
years
about
ago?
like,
Might have been last year.
colonialism, and he's pretty much off the deep end, but you can't deny that he has the star power to carry a movie and is talented.
He's a very talented actor.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that Mickey 17 was another example of people pointing out these holdovers from the pre-anti-woke vibe shift era as well. Didn't see that one either.
Yeah. All of it is just, it's very like, and these movies are never expected to light up the box office. Like nobody's expecting this movie to make the money that you think that they were expecting it to make. No, even if the election had gone the other way, I don't think they would have expected this movie to make the money that they think it was going, that you think that they would want it to make at the box office. I don't think they care. These are the ones that do get that funding. So I kind of go back and forth. I do believe for the most part that these studios want to make money. I don't agree. I don't always subscribe to the idea that they're just propaganda machines inherently and only want to push ideas that, you find objectionable. I think they want to do both. I think they want to push ideas that a lot of people find objectionable, and they want to make a profit at the same time. But these are the ones that are a write-off in that respect. Like the Paul Thomas Anderson movies, even the Eddingtons, the Ari Aster movies, like they're not.
Did Eddington make money?
It wouldn't have had the budget. It wouldn't have had the budget that something like this had, anyways.
Let me see. So, the budget for Eddington was $25 million.
So it probably did make at
Let me
least
see.
some of the money back.
I wonder if it made a profit here. Looks like they had a total gross of $10 million.
So not even close.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's just meant to generate conversation.
Yeah.
So they see it as a worthwhile trade-off.
Yeah. Look, they're not good at it anymore. Hollywood used to be much better at making the propaganda go down easier. They really did.
Yeah.
They did. I think that the point that I'm going to keep hammering home is like they did better when instead of showing you evil group of people does evil things, they show you good guy who does things that they like. So, you know, have good guy character who everybody likes, played by an actor that everybody likes, who's cool and with it. Have like generically, maybe not progressive, but liberal values. And they made a lot of progress in society over the last 50 years by showing you generic good. Okay, for instance, if you want to wonder why the boomers are the way they are, you watch old episodes of NCIS and Gibbs is basically like talking to his old fuddy-duddy partner who's like, women in charge? Meh. And Gibbs is like 60. All right. I mean, the actor's like 60, but he's like a vet. And he's like, the world's changing, Mike. Like, that's how they got to the point they were at now with liberal values. Not by showing you bad guy does stupid thing because he's bigoted. They showed you character that you generally like, and he had generically liberal values.
But you mean they didn't entirely demonize the other side?
No, the other guy was just shows like, oh, Mike, there he is.
Like the old fuddy-duddy is just like, oh, he's from a different time,
yes,
but we still love him.
Yes, he was his mentor, and I'm just using one example from the boomer shows that I watch. But that's how Hollywood got to the point it is now, because it was just, here's a character you already like. You've got however many seasons of liking him with good storytelling, and he just has, you know, they do this on Blue Bloods where the characters are, it's like a Catholic family. They go to church every Sunday, and he's like a deacon at his church, whatever. I don't remember exactly what his role is, but they go to confession, all that stuff. But he's like, he gets into a conversation with like the head of the church about gay marriage. And it's a Trojan horse. But it's not done by saying that the church is evil. It's just him saying why this of all issues is the one that they haven't changed on. And if you're just a generic person who doesn't think about politics or religion, you're like, whoa, why don't they?
Yeah.
Like,
it was more covertly disguised.
Yes, it was done infinitely
propaganda.
easier. I could make a list for them of like 100 examples of this stuff.
I thought, you know, post anti-woke vibe shift, does this just train the left to present their propaganda in a more covert way? I guess only time will tell.
If they're smart, they will.
If they will self-correct.
If they're smart. But the thing is their side doesn't even allow you to do that. They're if you're not for us, you're against us. And if you're not explicitly sharing our values, then you're not working hard enough.
Right. I have seen those conversations taking place intra-left, and the people who challenge their own side to have more effective messaging that doesn't demonize people on the right or in the middle, they get dragged. So I guess we'll have to see if they correct themselves over time.
And I think the other reason why those storylines or those things that I explained worked is because like the idea in, I guess, like 2009 of like in NCIS of a woman being the head of an armed federal agency was novel. But if you did that now, they'd be like, well, like if TV is reality, they've been doing that for 30 years. So for instance, on High Potential, which I'm still enjoying, though this last episode had an annoying storyline, like the captain of their division was like up for like chief, and like she doesn't get it, and like the one of the lead characters basically makes it like, oh, it's because you're a woman. And then they introduced the guy who got the job at the end of the episode. Now they haven't done anything really. He's introduced in kind of a fairly intellectual way, so it could go one of two ways. He could be a complete douchebag and end up being exactly everything that you expect Hollywood to be like today, men bad. Or they could find out that this guy isn't that bad, and the writing could have been more nuanced than that. Time will tell on that. But again, in 2009, that story made sense. And that character was like, I had to work my ass off every day to get where I was. My career had to come first before everything. I never was able to have a family. I never had a husband and kids. And they talk about the sacrifice that this character of Jenny Shepard made to become the first female head of an armed federal agency. And that was a unique story to tell in 2009. Now, if you saw it, you're like, oh my, shut the fuck up. Like,
right.
It's like they haven't learned how to pivot and do the same type of, smooth tasting propaganda, because it's already there.
Right.
Like they've already achieved their goals, and what they want to achieve now doesn't go down the hatch quite the same way.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media, and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.